Well guys, hello, here we are. We have ourselves a little bit of a project ahead of us here. Something that's gonna, change the landscape of my yard. Gonna change the look and, well, for the better. Pretty much what I'm wanting to do, as you see by the outlines on the ground here. I'm gonna build something from, all the way over about there. Pretty much along, this line here. Going, right about where the fence is, back up toward the house. Of course, a lot of you could probably figure it out by now. I am building a 8 by 22 deck. Of course, it's 8 foot deep and 22 feet long, pretty much 3/4 of the length of the house. Of course, I made her a little larger than, probably what I need to make it, but at the same time, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be large enough for, the barbecue up there, the patio set, or whatever's. Eventually, I'll carry on with phase 2, which will be another 10 by 10 deck, basically going from the edge of the shed all the way up, button up against, or just slightly lower than the existing deck, I suppose. But pretty much ahead of us here, we got, some work to do. Obviously getting rid of, some garbage, some cardboard, clearing away, stuff. Of course, the obvious, landscaping and stuff like that. Have to scrape the ground, get off the gravel off of it. And of course, the grass and stuff like that to what I'm going to call undisturbed ground. And then, of course, the main hurdle is going to be getting rid of this wonderful concrete doorstep. It's been here for a minimum, I'm guessing, of 30 years. It's kind of settled on, this end here. And, it's going to be a pain to get rid of. I could try giving it away, but a lot of people don't want to use these anymore. They're building wooden steps or so. I'm guessing that the first step is solid. The second step is probably a good 90% solid, and I'm hoping the top portion there is only maybe 6 inches deep all the way around with concrete, and the middle is hollow. Anything more than that, and then it's going to be a huge task to get rid of. Currently, I'm just in the planning stages. I have an estimate of the product I'm going to need, the rough cost of building the deck, as well as a few things like that. I'm gonna have to find out the best method to eliminate this doorstep. Unfortunately, I can't buy enough C4 anymore to launch this doorstep into orbit, so I'm gonna have to do it the hard way. So pretty much, guys, let's get at her. We'll start clearing away stuff away from the house, start moving the gravel and all that, and then we'll decide what we're gonna do with this doorstep. Well guys, a little bit of a, quick project check-in. It doesn't really look like we've made much progress so far. But as you see there, we've relocated the barbecue. One of the big things that happened was relocated the wood box. I took the opportunity while relocating it. You can't really tell, but I did cut her down. It was 4 feet tall, and I cut her down to 2 feet. Now, of course, I probably should have narrowed it, because right now it's about 2 feet tall by 3 feet wide. If I would have made her 2 by 2, or even, like 24 by whatever it would be, 30 or something, the portions would be a little better. But that framework right there is, the top 2 feet of the wood box. And these here, of course, are some of the remaining boards that I didn't cut on down to use in the bottom half. So, of course, I've got to relocate the patio set. Not 100% sure where to stick her. If I should put it in the garage so it's out of the way, or if I should put it in the corner of the yard. The tough decision is going to be where. Because the only real space I have is in here, and this is going to be a busy area very, very soon. There's going to be cutting here and painting here and all that, so The only place that's probably not going to be well traveled at the moment anyway is in the garage. And of course, once that's all cleared away, then of course I've got the monumental task of stripping down gravel here. There's only 2 or 3 inches of coverage throughout here, so it's not like it's 6 inches or 8 inches deep. There's only a yard or 2 in this here corner, so I'm going to probably strip her out, like I said there, throw it in the old driveway, and kind of get 2 birds stoned at once with that. And then of course I got to tackle that corner over there. I'll probably roll the wheels in the corner for now, and then start working on this area. Same with over there. I got to strip away the rock, and then once the rock is gone, basically we'll have the dirt behind, and that's what we want. And then the weather's been a little up in the air the last few days, so of course in order for me to rent the tool, I got to darn well know it's going to be a dry or hot day to do the work on. So I'll probably end up renting the drill coming up here in the next few days, and then we can drill the holes. I'm not 100% sure if this is a hollow doorstep or a solid one, but either way I need holes drilled in it. If it's a solid one, well, that'll be a little easier to work with, but if it's a hollow one, I'll have to drill a series of holes, and then of course hit it with the sledgehammer, and then it should hopefully break along, of course, the perforated section, or the section where I drilled the holes in, and then just keep drilling. And I might end up having to use that expansion stuff on these bottom 2 steps, depends if they're the solid ones or not. Of course, the original plan for the deck was just to make it 8 by 22, pretty much just coming straight out here the full length, but I'm considering now, once I got the mess all going here, I've relocated the wood box, so I'm thinking of putting a the 8 by 22 deck plus whatever it would be, a 10 by 10 or so deck coming all the way out here. I'll have to double measure once I get the ground cleared away, and maybe throw some extra marks on the ground whereabouts it's gonna fall, and then really just gotta go for shopping for material and all that good stuff. So I guess let's get at it again, see how much more stuff we can move, and take it all from there. Well guys, here we go. Got some of that gravel moved. I forgot how deep it was up close to the house here. When I did my landscaping, I wanted to make sure that the water ran away from the house into the gravel, and then of course out to where the trees used to be. So of course it was fairly thick there, and then it does get shallower as you get toward the shed. Of course, whatever it's been there, 6 or 8 wheelbarrows full, got out of here, probably been about 25 minutes or so, and well, so far it's filling up the back driveway nicely. Pretty much kind of look, you can tell we have 8 piles, and I always find when I'm dumping gravel, if I stagger the piles, then when I go to spread it on out, it tends to spread out a little bit better. I'm not going to go too far up the driveway, maybe to somewhere in here, just to mainly just to get rid of the gravel that's going to be there, because there's no point in covering up good gravel with a deck. And of course, if I ever want gravel around the deck again, then I can go out to my landscaping supplier and get another load of rock. I might end up bringing some more and putting along that leading edge. Technically, I could do that, but the thing is, when the grader comes along, he tends to flip up the dirt from the back alley onto here, which of course then tracks in the driveway. I guess it kind of sucks, but at the same time, it's the way it is. I had thought about getting somebody with a tractor in to stir all this up, but at the same time, you're going to have to pay them probably a couple $100 to do it, because they don't have a job in town to make it worth coming on in, as well as for me to rent a bobcat and stir all this up just to do this doesn't really make any sense. you know, maybe in a few years I will have rented a bobcat for some obscure reason, and I could try to move this myself. But by then it's probably going to be fairly packed down, and a little, you know, skid steer or bobcat probably wouldn't be able to handle all that. But pretty much, guys, let's get back to moving some rock, see how far we get before the weather closes on in. Pretty much got as much gravel as I'm going to get moved away. Basically pulled her all the way back to the shed here. Some of the stuff here is still good gravel, but it's a little bit dirty gravel. It was some of the stuff was on the very, very bottom, of course, of the pile, and it kind of held, well, dirt. So I don't really want to put her in the driveway because, of course, being there's dirt, stuff will start to grow. So what I'll probably end up doing is reusing this underneath the deck, just as, you know, kind of ground cover, sort of. Of course, over here, did the same thing. I went about a foot or so past where the end is going to be, then that way I got room to, you know, move. Still going to have to dig things down, of course, but I was expecting that. So at least now, you know, we can move on to the next step. Of course, all these sidewalk blocks are going to have to come up, but I'm not going to toss them. They will probably still come in handy. I need to put sidewalk blocks anyway underneath, you know, these blocks there to prevent them from sinking into the ground. I'm pretty sure those blocks are fine enough, but, you know, I want to overdo it just to make sure, you know, it's good enough, right? Of course, all the gravel from here went in the back driveway, which again is pretty much getting two birds stoned at once, you know, covering the back driveway here. It's a little bit deep right now, but it'll pack and shift and go where it wants to go. And well, within, you know, probably 6-8 months, a year, and you won't even be able to tell this was like fresh new gravel. So of course, you know, you drive out on it a few times, it'll even on out, you know, kind of go where it wants to go. You know, over time, of course, high spots will occur, so you just give her another rake in a bit, and well, it's kind of the way she is, right? Of course, up here, once the deck is built, you know, I may need some more gravel, but we will cross that one when we get here. Right now, we're down to semi-undisturbed ground. You know, it's been probably a good 8 to 9 years where the ground's been covered up to the house, and probably been about 3-4 years that the ground's been covered here. You know, basically when I tore down the gazebo to build the shed, that was the last time this ground there was, well, uncovered. I used a combination of covers here. Of course, as you see here, we have tarps, and right there is the recommended landscaping fabric. Well, where we had the tarps, there was no weeds at all. Nothing ever poked through, grew through, or nothing. But where we had the landscaping fabric, weeds were forever poking through, growing through. We even had a few trees starting there. So of course, you know, the landscaping fabric is what they say to use, but really it only lasts about 2 to 3 years before it fails. And of course, these tarps here look like brand new. You know, other than you know, a little bit of dirt and stuff, they're just like they were when I put them on down. Well, now that all the gravel is cleared away and such, when the weather gives us another break, we can come out here with our big drill, start drilling holes in this doorstep, finding out if it's hollow or solid, and then, well, pretty much the fun starts to begin. Okay guys, so here we go. It's the big D-Day time there where we remove the old step. Not 100% sure how she's going to go, if we're going to have to drill holes and use that expansion stuff, or if we're going to be able to, you know, cut her and cut it apart, or just knock her a few times with a hammer. I have no idea if it's reinforced with rebar, or like I said, if it's hollow or solid, or, you know, whatever, right? So pretty much, guys, I'll throw you on the old tripod here, and hopefully we get some good shots. Hopefully she breaks apart fairly easy, you know. Maybe drill a few test holes, see what we find, and away we go. Well, we have ourselves a nice 8-pound sledgehammer here. It should go good for knocking some things around. Well, I guess that answers one of our questions. the old doorstep is hollow. And there looks like to be rebar in it as well. It's not the really thick rebar, it's more of a wire mesh. So of course, not 100% sure how to proceed from here. I think we just gotta hit her a couple hundred times and, well, see what happens. That one's hollow. Well guys, did 3 test holes there, and I'm pretty sure she's hollow on all 3 steps. Might get a little thicker toward the edges, but hey, it's definitely a plus, it being hollow and all. So of course, let's keep on going. Okay guys, so of course once you've knocked some of it away, you expose the rebar, and of course got to make a cut here and another one there. So basically I'll do the same to the other side, and then we'll be moving on up. Well guys, there we go. I got, well, the majority of the first 2 steps out, and of course the front, what do you want to call it, piece there. And of course there was, you know, that netting all the way through. Got the best part of it broke up. However, there is going to be some that are still stuck to the, well, you know, wire mesh netting. Of course, for that, I'm not going to break it up any further. It's going to be what it is, and, well, you know, that's it, right? So, of course, I got to break out the corners, and then once the corners are broke, then technically, you know, you can start breaking, you know, further in, kind of underneath the top, and then kind of work your way back. It looks like the ground is fairly level underneath the step so far anyway. It doesn't look like we're going to need much fill to fill. I was kind of wondering if it was hollow under there or settled under there. But I guess being this step was replaced once already, they must have graded before sticking the new one in. So pretty much guys, let's keep on hammering, and away we go. Well, a little bit of a check-in here, guys. Of course, made some progress since the last time. As you see, it's basically, well, in 2 pieces. Well, it's technically in 1,000,000 pieces, but technically it's only 2 pieces that are left. I'm going to try to bust that, you know, away from the other half there, and then maybe, you know, take a couple of smacks on the other half, see if I can break it in half, and then end up with like 6 pieces. Then we'll see if we can wrestle those on the back of the trailer. And then basically there's just ground to clean up after that. There looks like there's a couple of solid concrete, I'm assuming those maybe are pads that the step sat on so it wouldn't sink. But other than that, you know, it come together, well, fairly good, you know. There wasn't a lot of, hard to believe, there wasn't a lot of structure, you know, in it. I was expecting to find a chunk or two of 1/2 inch or even 3/4 inch rebar, but no, I didn't find neither. So, you know, it's just the wire mesh or netting or whatever y'all want to call her. But pretty much, guys, we'll get, you know, a few more smacks in her, and well, see what happens. Well, guys, there we are. Once stood a proud doorstep that really served its purpose for many a generations. Well, has been reduced to basically nothing. All it's really signs that there ever was a doorstep here, or something anyways, was a little bit of the wire mesh and concrete stuck to her. Now I probably could beat this down even further and get the concrete all off the mesh, but hey, it's not really worth it. Well, where did the doorstep go? Well, here it is. It's basically about 90% right here in this trailer. As you've seen there, there's some chunks left on the wire mesh, but you know, the remainder of it's all right here.